Guys, welcome. We're back. Back on camera, back on video. I just feel like it. I typically tend to do things, if I can, based on if I feel it. Do you feel it? About a month and a half ago, I was just in the zone, and like almost every day I was like, oh, you've got to do that for a sound design hangout. And then it's like I did them all, and then I just sort of moved on to something else that I was interested in, like my 3D computer graphics art that I really like. And so I feel like I move in waves like that, but I'm doing this sound design hangout today because I want to be on camera. Just because I also wanted to try out some like editing techniques. Like I've been playing with color curves, you know, in like any sort of like digital photo or video application. You can like play with like the blue values, so you can like up the blues and take them out, and like everything else stays the same, but like the blues change. I don't know, I'm kind of like, I was like, you know, I want to record an SDHO, and I kind of want to like mess around with like in Final Cut, which is the video editing program I use. So I was like, that's probably a good reason to get on. And I felt like hanging out. It's Saturday night. I was gonna say Saturday evening. I'm like, no, it's Saturday night. I don't do anything. Do you guys do anything? I sort of just hang out all the time by myself with my pug, and I just like make art and meditate and try to envision the future and all the cool stuff I'll be doing in it, because I'm doing that cool stuff right now. And so are you for watching this. If you've enjoyed any of this content so far, please smash the like. Tell me something that you've been enjoying about it, or you don't have to smash a like and you can keep watching. And if you think this is good content, well, then you can choose to do that. So we're hanging out together. It's a sound design hangout. Maybe it's not Saturday night for you. Maybe on your Saturday night you actually went out and did things because you have friends. Shout out and big ups if you're your own best friend. I think that deserves a like or a follow. In any event, we're hanging out, and I've got a really cool hangout for you today because this is something anyone can do. You don't have to have any musical knowledge, and I'm willing to bet that there's some of you out there who are like, I actually have no interest in making music. You know, I want to make like relaxing sound atmospheres, and you're gonna really like this. What also is nice is about this hangout is we're not even going to play around with synthesizers. We're actually going to play along with something everyone has. Everyone has a recording device. Why? Because a recording device is on every phone these days. And today we're going to be we're going to be playing with found sound. Cheers. So what is found sound? Well, it's sound that you found. So you're out walking around and you notice that the wind sounds good. Although wind will kill your sound recording. You can't even EQ that stuff out. But let's just pretend you're outside in nature, and there's a whistling through the trees. There's a stream. There's some weird bird sound. You don't know what it is. Maybe there's an owl in the distance. Maybe there's none of that. Maybe it's just an ambient noise. Maybe it's you in your bedroom. The rain is falling on the bedroom. It's hopefully rain is not raining into your bedroom, but like there's rain coming down. You're hearing it on the roof, but you're in your room. You're dwelling, and you're all safe and sound and dry, and I actually recorded that the other night. So you whip out your phone or your audio recorder and you just start recording, and that's found sound. It can also be you're outside and you know you pick up a brick and you drop it and it makes a really good sound, and you think, that could be a good percussion sound, you know? So it's found sound. So you can use anything for this. Ideally some sort of a nature sound, because that's what I'm going to be playing with. So in the last SDHO, we made atmospheric music with like white noise. But now we're going to basically do the same thing, but we're not going to use white noise. We're going to use sounds of the environment, you know, like anything you would hear outside or anything you would hear in your home, like whether you're like running the shower, whether you're recording your air conditioner, your heater, your refrigerator, a bathroom fan, any sort of like ambient noise. And you might be like, well, why did you just mention that thing about white noise? Well, what I realized is this technique is very similar to what we did in the last SDHO with white noise, because these sounds are kind of like white noise. They're like real white noise that you would find in your environment. So let's get started. So as you guys probably know, you've got all these categories here, okay? And then you've got places. Now you can go click add a folder and you can add a folder. I added this big folder called Ken Sounds, and these are all like just little folders, and it'll reference this on your desktop. And so I have one called Found Sound, and I actually recorded a few things lately, and let's play with them. So I'm going to, remember I said the rain in the bedroom? Let's do that. Let's drag it in here. Now this is audio. It's down here. I'm going to click warp. It's not going to change anything by clicking warp, but it will allow us to loop, and it will allow us to use some of this other functionality. So let's play it first, and then I'm going to click warp, and it shouldn't change. So let's click this clip and listen to rain in bedroom, which I just recorded 2 nights ago. It was raining. Here we go. That's so weird, because right now I'm like, it doesn't sound like, it barely sounds like rain in a bedroom. Like, not even kidding. Like right now I'm like, oh, that sounds like white noise. Maybe I need a better audio recorder. Actually, I do like the iPhone as audio recorder. So let's click warp, see if it changes. Doesn't change, told you. So what can we do with this? Well, for one thing, I want to loop it. And see all this little garbage over here? I want to see if I can, I'm going to right click in here and see if I can, I want to like normalize this audio just so I can like see the what's it called a little bit better. Well, that's giving it more volume. I don't want that. I think I'm going to bring this in over here because I don't want to hear this stuff at the end. I think I made that just to like spice it up in case I wanted to use that as well for something else. See, it's like weird noises. Maybe we might want to use that, but I don't want that for this. So I'm going to bring this in here. I'm going to bring this start point in just because there's a little silence there. I'm going to click this over. So the first thing I want to play with is, I want to make sure I'm recording, yes. So the first thing that I want to play with is, I want to see if I want to adjust its pitch. Now, because we're in repitch, that allows me to do things like this. Command Z, Command Z. I'm going to take it off repitch, I'm going to put it on complex. And now we've got this pitch down here. Let's up the pitch just to see what that sounds like. Sounds awful, let's lower it. It's doing the same thing than repitch. Sometimes I like repitch because I feel like it's smoother. Okay, so I can kind of like, okay. I'm not too thrilled, like, oh my god, it has to be lower, it has to be the same. So now I know I can do different processing. I'm willing to just sort of keep it how it is. By the way, one side note when you're working with atmospheres and you have them in audio, like right now this is an audio track because we're looking at the audio. When it gets to the end, there's gonna be like a loop over. You can kind of mask it with like a lot of other sounds. But if you're only working with just this one clip, as we are right here, you can add reverb, but it doesn't always mask it. So a lot of times we'll want to transfer it into a sampler and like loop it, and then we can make sure that you can't hear the loop. But because I always want to be just as good in the MIDI realm as I am in the audio realm, I kind of want to stay in the audio realm here, and then I want to move a little bit forward. So what do we want to do? Well, first of all, I decided that I'm kind of okay keeping this here. Like I might maybe duplicate it and like pitch the one down an octave below, maybe an octave up, and have different ones that sound nice. But right now I'm kind of okay with this. So what's almost the next step? The next step when you're doing this is probably get some reverb. I'm gonna go with the Convolution Reverb Pro and just drag it on here. Like, listen to how much that changed. Now it's like, okay, now we're not in the basement, we're in like a cave. I don't know what Arundel Nave is, but I almost feel like it's a cave or something. I'm gonna take this down. This is like cutting out the highs and the lows. Sometimes you might want to do it extreme and then bring it back. Why would we do this? Well, if this was up, it would be reverberating the lowest lows, which, by the way, we might want to just come into here and just roll off some of these lows. It almost like sounds more like a brook now. Let's boost. Wonderful. Let's beef it up with some compressor. Now we're like in a submarine. They say that's like one of the ways to like make it sound like it's underwater is you just remove highs. Because apparently like when you're underwater you don't like hear high frequencies. So whenever you're watching a show and it's like underwater, it's like totally sounds like we're underwater now. But we want this. We want this now. I'll leave it there. Double click to minimize. I'll move the compressor after the reverb. Let's see if that makes a difference. Totally made a difference. But do we like that difference? Yes, because I want like the sound and I want the convolution reverb. I'm actually not liking this recording because I keep hearing myself breathing in it. Let's change it up, shall we? Because I recorded it twice that day, that night. Where were we? Let's do Rain in Bedroom 2, see if it's better. Let's launch this clip. Ooh. Hey now. I like this one better. I'm gonna delete the first one. Doesn't matter, we could have both, you know? It's just like, I'm doing it like this, so you're just like, I'm taking you into my mind when I'm like playing around with this stuff. There might be people who like, and all power to them, that just work. But like, I think what you're going to get from me is you're going to know why I do everything. You know, where some people, like, they'll just do stuff like, oh, and then be like, oh, it sounds good, right? But for me, that happened because we didn't have loop. Got to check loop, launch. But for me, I want to tell you everything. Like, if you guys saw the last one, you'll notice that I that I created a track that we don't use a lot. We right-click. We all know what an audio track is. That's what we're using right now. We all know what a MIDI track is. But I inserted a return track. I don't use return tracks a lot, but I'm going to start using them more. Typically, return tracks is something you would use a lot if you wanted to. If you knew that you were going to have like a bunch of tracks in your project and you knew you were going to put like a certain kind of a delay or a reverb or any effect, and you knew you were going to like put it on a lot of tracks, well, then you would put it on a return, and then you can choose how much of each track you want to use to it. But I realized in the last SDHO that there is a hidden benefit to using return tracks. I had multiple tracks going, and again, these were all white noise tracks, and most of them were all being fed into a reverb. So for instance, I'm gonna just take this reverb and just drag it onto this return track. You always put the wet all the way up. If you have a question about why, you can let me know. And I always bump it up by like 7 or 8 dB, because I normally find you can't hear it until it goes like almost all the way up this way. So like that's why I put up at 8, so you can get a good effect like throughout this whole range. You don't have to like go damn near up all the way here to hear it. But what I noticed is I had all these tracks going in the convolution reverb, and as they were playing, I was using these track faders to like take them out. Now, if I had this reverb on this track and I were to like fade out the sound like this, the reverberated sound would go down as well. But when you have this going into the convolution reverb, when we lower this, all you're lowering is the sound that's coming through here. You're not lowering the amount that was sent through this long-ass reverb, so it stays. And it sort of had this cascading sound that I really liked. And then I was like, oh, there's extra benefits to using return tracks. So let's play this, take the send all the way down, and let's add it till it sounds good. And I want to show you that. If you just delete, it'll go back up. Now listen. Now listen to what happens when I take this volume away. You'll notice it'll still be here in the convolution. Hear that? And it was giving really interesting sounds. Let's go back into the Convolution Reverb Pro and let's mess around with some things. I'm gonna get rid of this reverb. And I'm gonna do a couple of things here, guys. I'm gonna drag a hybrid reverb instead. Dry wet all the way up. So here's kind of the thing. I'll just say it. Here's why you want return. Here's what a return track does. If you didn't know, why you would put it 100% wet is because ideally all you want is dry, the dry signal from this track coming through. You then send it to here, and then this is the fully processed sound. That's why If it was anywhere else, you would be getting the raw sound coming out of here. You don't need it. I want to change this up, so I want a long decay. I know I'm gonna want to cut more out, and I'm going to use this. And I'm also gonna do something else, guys. I'm doing too much talking. I don't want to burn myself out. I'm drinking a little beer here. I want to be creating a lot of things tonight, and when I do a lot of the talking in these videos, it's almost like I use too much energy, and then I get tired later. And then I'm like, I don't feel like doing any more creative work because I'm like tired. So I'm actually just gonna play around, and I'll take breaks and explain some things, but I'm gonna try to do less talking and more working. What I'm gonna do is I want to dial up a good sound, and I'm going to like duplicate it and make it lower, so we have now the same sound but like lower pitched, then a higher pitched one, maybe do some filtering, and I may even start from scratch and just do it all in sampler so we don't have any click-throughs when it loops over. I think that's just like the better way to do it. But I wanted to play with audio because I want to just like twerk up some of my audio skills. But before we do, we're going to take a quick detour because I want to show you a very interesting trick in Ableton that not many people know about. It's very hidden, and it's very cool. And if this isn't like-worthy, then that means you guys already knew this. And if you guys already knew this, then you're like geniuses, and cheers to you. Let's go back into my found sound. Again, this will be temporary, and we might bring it in later. See if it's cool. Ken Sounds. Finger taps on the kitchen table. I was just tapping on the kitchen table. Take a listen to this, guys. That's my dog. I'm gonna isolate this. Check this out. This is really cool. So what you do is you go to beats and you go to this. Okay, ready? Let's cut that out. My dog was running. Listen what happens when you bring this thing down. Listen to that. That's like what a transient shaper does. Like if you can do that with like a transient shaper will allow you to do this. How cool is that? And now I'm like, oh, let's put our thing here. Let's check this out. Times it by 2. No, not good at all. Let's lower the pitch. Nah, I'm not liking that either. Oh, I have an idea. Why don't we go to Audio Effects and do Shaper or Shifter? No, that sounds like crap too. This part's too loud in the beginning. Let's move it in. rain in bedroom. The regular rain? Wow, it's like gaining and it's like getting louder. Let's go regular rain. Let's get the auto filter and then let's do this. I was pretty good in it. Like, I'll be honest with you, only music I really listen to, 85% of the music I listen to is ambient music. Because it helps me relax. And it's music that, like, helps relax your mind and kind of helps you get into a state of meditation. Some of it can be melodic. Some of it cannot be melodic. And then there's some stuff I listen to that's just white noise, like it's manipulations of white noise. Some might be like nature sounds, and like sometimes sorry, I had to take these off my head. It's like I haven't had headphones on in a while, so but sometimes I need to like relax badly, right? And I'll be sitting in my chair, maybe I'm ready to do meditation, and I put on ambient music, of course, and it just doesn't do it. It doesn't do it. And like, I literally need like music like this, my top video on my channel, the how to make ambient music thing with white noise or whatever I called it. It was just like a bunch of white noise doing techniques like this. And someone was like, that's not ambient music. That's not music, and I'm like, dude, everything's music. Sound is music. It didn't bother me, but it was just kind of weird. It's like, come on now. So let's get this back and going, and I may try some other things. But I really love this, and you can basically use like any technique for this. Again, I'm just going to try to keep doing things and not talk. The talking takes up too much energy. I like to like move the faders down and then move them back up. It's a good way to like see this guy here. Let's just play with this guy a little bit. Kind of has an organic sound to it, doesn't it? You hear like rain. Sometimes like the rain's coming down, a lot of rain, and then less rain, like kind of like now, and then it'll go back up again. And because we've got this jitter, I gotta stop talking. It's taking up too much energy. Please forgive me, guys. Gotta conserve that energy. Don't burn it out. Unless you need to burn it out. But I need to go for the long haul. It's got a nice wind sound to it. It's bloody beautiful, isn't it? Think about it. We walked along a very dark road. A road that looked like just any other road. Through houses. Wet, damp, October rain. We were getting rained on, but we felt relaxed. All of these wet, dark streets. People just getting home. Not gonna be home for a while. Thinking of people relaxed and safe and warm and secure in their homes, looking outside as we walked, felt wet, uncomfortable, cold, thinking about a warm shower, thinking about the possibility that in a few years we could really be living in the golden age. I guess some people think we're living in the golden age right now. Apparently all you have to do is tune your vibration to the 5th dimension and you're there. Easier said than done, of course. Just like the storm that we're all feeling. Doesn't have to be so scary. Can relax into it. Even though it's all dark and gloomy, I knew the future never looked brighter, 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 brighter. I think that's it. I love this, man. I'm gonna... By the way, all right. Let's click play. Times it by... let's do this. I don't like it. Ooh, well, that's it. Nothing else to do. It sounds too good. I resampled it. I adjusted the length, time stretch it to see if it sounded better. It didn't. This sounds great. Can like bring things in and up and down. Sounds good. If you guys enjoyed this, smash a like. Be good to yourself. You're changing. The world's changing. The new golden age is here. It's happening. The planet's awakening. You know it. You've probably known it for years. Big ups to yourself. Have a good time wherever you are. Thanks for hanging out. Guys, welcome. Guys, hello and welcome. Welcome. You are all doing good. Good to see you all. Wonderful. We're recording here after all. Wonderful. And we are live in 1, 2,